Okay, let's be real for a second. Managing your calendar can feel like a full-time job, right? All the endless clicking, filling out those clunky forms. But what if you could run your entire schedule just by talking to it? Well, today we're going to dive into some brand new research that's building exactly that, an AI assistant that actually gets you. And it's starting with the one thing we all have to deal with, our calendar.
I mean, just think about it for a second. You want to schedule a simple meeting. You have to click the day, click the time, type in the title, invite all the right people, double-check for conflicts. It's this whole song and dance. And that little bit of friction, that annoyance, is a universal feeling. It's also the exact problem that researchers are now tackling with a totally new angle.
For years, we've been stuck in the world you see on the left. You know it well: rigid, manual, form-based calendars. They basically force us to think like a computer just to get something done. But the promise of the tech we're looking at today, well, that's the world on the right. A calendar that thinks more like a person. It's conversational, it's automated, and it feels completely natural. So this is where a system called ScheduleMe steps onto the scene. It's a brand new kind of calendar assistant, and it was designed from the ground up to bridge that massive gap between how we talk and how our software actually works. This right here, this is the Holy Grail. It's just a simple, natural sentence, but look at what it's doing. It needs to schedule something, it has a title, it has a time, and here's the kicker, it has a condition. You have to check for availability first. For most old systems, this is an absolute nightmare to parse, but for ScheduleMe, this is exactly what it was built for.
So how on earth does it pull this off? You might be picturing one of those giant all-knowing AI brains trying to do everything at once. But the secret here is actually the complete opposite. ScheduleMe works by using a coordinated team of smaller, highly specialized AI agents. And this isn't just a clever gimmick. It makes the whole thing way more reliable. Instead of one AI trying to be a jack of all trades, you have these focused experts. It's so much easier to fix, it's easier to update, and each little agent gets really, really good at its one specific job.
The best way to think about it is like a super efficient office crew. Every single member has a very specific job to do, and you've got a manager making sure it all runs like clockwork. So let's pop the hood and see how this team actually gets the work done.
The whole process is actually pretty straightforward. It starts with you. You make a request in plain, everyday language. A supervisor agent reads it, figures out what you actually mean, and then delegates the job to the right specialist for the task. That specialist then grabs a tool, like the Google Calendar API, and performs the action. And boom, just like that, the task is done.
All right, so let's meet the team. First up, you've got the scheduler. Its only job in life is to create new events. Then there's the availability checker, who's kind of like your personal assistant, constantly scanning your schedule for you. You've got the editor for when you need to make changes, and of course, the deleter for clearing things out. Each one is an expert in its own little domain.
And holding it all together, you have the supervisor. This is the project manager, the conductor of the orchestra. You, the user, only ever talk to the supervisor. It's the one that interprets what you want, figures out which specialist to call, passes on the instructions, and then reports back to you when it's done. It is the absolute key to making the whole system feel so smooth and seamless.
Now, under the hood, all these agents are powered by a really cool principle called REACT, and it's a powerful idea. It's simple. First, the AI reasons about what needs to happen, then it acts by using a tool. So for example, the scheduler agent might reason, okay, I need to create an event, it's called Team Meeting, and it's for tomorrow at 10 a.m. Then it acts by using its Google Calendar tool to actually put that event right on your schedule. It thinks, and then it does.
Okay, so the theory sounds great, right? A team of specialist agents run by a smart supervisor. But the real question is, does it actually work in practice? Well, the researchers put it through some seriously rigorous tests to find out.
The first major test was for languages. The team threw 6 different languages at it without any special training for them. That's what zero shot means. And the results? A perfect score in English, which is awesome, and really strong performance in French and German too. Now you can see there's a bit of a dip in non-Latin scripts, but the fact that it can handle these languages right out of the box at all is a huge win.
But forget the lab for a second. What about real people? The researchers ran a user study with 20 participants, and ScheduleMe had a 92% success rate. I mean, think about that. Over 9 times out of 10, it did exactly what the user wanted it to do, correctly. For a real-world application, that is a fantastic result. And it wasn't just about getting the job done. Users found it incredibly easy to use. It scored an 82.5 out of 100 on the system usability score.
And just for context, anything over 80 is considered to be in the excellent range. So this means people found it genuinely helpful and totally intuitive to use.
Digging a little deeper, the study also looked at how people felt about it. On a 5-point scale, satisfaction was way up there at 4.6. And this next one is crucial. Trust in the system was 4.3. You know, getting users to actually trust a new AI is often the biggest hurdle, and it looks like ScheduleMe just sailed right over it. So, the system works, people find it easy to use, and they trust it. That's the trifecta. But of course, no technology is ever perfect, and being honest about the current limitations is exactly how you pave the way for what's coming next.
And the researchers were super clear about the challenges. Every now and then, it would get tripped up by some nuances in other languages, or it might get confused if you had two events with very similar names. And if a user's request was just a little too vague, it sometimes struggled to figure it out. These are the key areas to work on.
But those challenges point toward a future that is incredibly exciting. The next steps on the roadmap include personalization, so the assistant starts to learn your unique habits and preferences. They're also planning to improve that multilingual reasoning. And maybe the coolest thing of all, creating collaborative agents that could automatically negotiate a meeting time with your whole team's assistants. Imagine that.
And that kind of leaves us with this one final fascinating thought. This whole multi-agent team approach worked wonders for a calendar. But what if it wasn't just your calendar? What if every single app you use, your email, your documents, your project management tool, had its own dedicated team of AI specialists, all being coordinated by a single supervisor that just understands you? That is the future this research is pointing us towards.